in foreign tournaments. We saw Polt back then in the Lone Star Clash. I believe Polt had a really good run at a DreamHack as well, and which was the international tournament, and he won, Ben?
That was, of course, Assembly.
That is correct.
Where he took out Stefano in the final round. That was a great tournament, really fun tournament. And Polt played exceptionally well. aLive is a guy that hasn't maybe had as... Okay, I can't say that because he's a great Korean player and he's had some good success in the GSL. But I don't know, for some reason, to me, Polt feels like a bigger name. Does that sound silly to you?
Well, up until IPL 3, I would have said IPL 4. I think you were definitely right, but IPL 4 was quite of a massive win.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. Good point. Good point there. Like you said, it is a Korean elimination match. One of these guys will not be in the top 16, which means one less Korean in the top 16. Something that's really noteworthy, Polt has not dropped a single map in TVT this season. He's 2-0 in every TVT he's played all season long. And aLive has shown some vulnerability. He was taken out by Select 0-2 in Week 5. And I don't know, man. Perhaps on paper, maybe Polt's got the stronger TVT.
Yeah, Polt went 5-3 in the regular season and aLive as well. But Polt mostly lost against Protoss players. He lost against Pozzo and he lost against MC. And he also had a surprising loss against Starga, but against obviously MC and Pozzo. There's no shame in that. There was a time that Terrans was struggling a lot against Protoss. I'm starting to feel it's getting a little bit better again for the Terran players out there, even though in general it's still considered a very hard matchup for Terran. Just like every matchup, it's dark times for Terran.
It's true that aLive went 5-3 in the regular season, but it's also very interesting that 2 of those losses were walkover losses. Yep. So, I mean, he could have been potentially like 7-1.
Yeah, but another story to that, the games that aLive did win, I mean, it wasn't as bad as his Fnatic buddy Rain, who literally proxy rexed every game. But I often felt that aLive was just kind of playing these games to sort of get it over with. I didn't feel it was the same inspiring play that I saw from him, for instance, at IPL 4, or as we often see from him in the GSL or the GTSL. Yeah,
and we do have some of that insider connection. We do know a little bit that aLive and Rain kind of have the feeling that playing cross-server is very difficult, and oftentimes they opted for the very aggressive builds just because it gave them maybe a higher percentage, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? When you do something that's very aggressive, very all-in, but it has a high % win rate, what would you call that? There's a word that I'm looking for here. Man, I can't find it.
Efficiency?
No, that's not it either.
In which direction should I search, man?
I don't know. All I'm saying here is that perhaps because of latency cross-server, aLive chose to play more aggressively just because it gave him a better chance of winning.
Well, I can sort of understand that, because the more aggressive you play, you can kind of force mistakes upon your opponents. Whether if you sit back, then it's just going to be a macro game, and the player will be able to play his A game without you doing anything about it up until a certain point. But a big problem is, in my opinion, when you play aggressive early game, if you have to deal with latency issues, then you're actually kind of punishing yourself. Because, for instance, when I play PvP, I love to go aggressive with my first few Stalkers. But if I play cross-server, I wouldn't do that, because why would I try to out-micro myself, since I'm not going to beat someone who has a much better ping. Anyways, man, focusing on this TVT, we saw the no gas fast expand build order for Polt, while the refineries went down for aLive way before anything. We can already see the tech lab being added onto the factory, and we see the starport going down. So it is going to be a Banshee opening, and most likely a cloak Banshee.
Yep, he's got a lot of gas saved up. Starport's going to finish, and he will have just enough resources for both that Banshee and that cloaking upgrade, so I think you're right on with that. This is a very common scenario in TVT, where we've got the fast expanding player against the aggressive player. And it all comes down to efficiently dealing with the harass.
9 out of 10 times the Banshee player will follow it up with an expand on his own as well. And he's going to pick off a few SCVs, and then it just comes down to that little dance. Will the Banshee kill enough SCVs to make this stack worth it, or was it the other way around? And will Polt have the much better economy? That's something we can't possibly say right now, unless aLive is going to do something really crazy and follow it up with one base aggression, which is something we have seen on Ohana several times actually in TVT this season, but I'm not expecting it.
Yeah, you're right that the expansion from aLive is probably the more common and more likely follow-up. But we're seeing another tech lab going down on the factory, and we can't disregard the possibility of like a 1-1-1 coming off the back of this Cloak Banshee play. And I think that might actually be what we see. He does have a lot of resources saved up. Oh, never mind. Command Center going to go down, so the tank... Oh, he actually cancels that second tech lab. Interesting. So it's just going to be expanding, getting tanks out, and then trying to do a little bit of damage with this single Cloak Banshee.
Well, what is really interesting,
no, he canceled Cloak.
Oh, he did cancel cloak. What is really interesting is that Polt never floated that orbital to the low ground, so Polt must have had a really... let's see what Polt actually did here. Polt saw both refineries, so perhaps he was afraid of cloak, he was afraid he was going to lose too many units, and that's why he kept the orbital on the high ground here for a very long time, which obviously only leaves him with one mineral line to worry about, and it's going to make it very hard for aLive to be very effective.
Really cute micro with this Banshee by aLive. He's doing a great job of dancing around, but Polt's got the Viking out.
I would have loved to see him fly that Viking a little bit more in range, because now I don't think he's going to be able to take out that Banshee. Well...
we'll see. He's going to give chase. Banshees are pretty fast.
But they're supposed to be the exact same speed, and they are, so why is this Viking getting all the shots off?
Perfect moving shot. Actually, aLive will save the Banshee, bringing out his Marines, but Polt's still ahead with the expansion being finished much, much faster. He needs to go ahead and float it down there so he can start reaping the rewards of this faster expand.
You say perfect moving shot. I say there's only one explanation for this. This guy, right here.
No.
You know his reloaded helmet?
LeBron James.
Tom Cruise.
Man.
There's no other explanation.
How are you such a Tom Cruise fanboy? I don't understand it.
I'm not. We see Polt being supply blocked actually, Ben, and just now starting the depot, so that's quite a big one. He's gonna have to, if I were him, I would call down for supply depot, certainly, because he has 96 energy on his main orbital. Why not, Polt? What are you waiting for?
Maybe he just wants to drop a lot of mules at the natural expand. That's actually exactly what we see. Going to supercharge that economy a little bit as his depots do finally go down, and he begins to macro up once more. Pretty even, honestly. I think the choice of aLive to cancel cloaking and just go right into a more standard style, turns out it was the right one, because ooh, wow, look at this push, man.
Yeah, I was looking at it. You were not. We see a couple of tank shots going down. Polt's picked off quite a few Marines, but that one tank for aLive did keep a couple of those Marines alive. It's very even economically. We see Polt 39 workers right now, aLive at 38, and both players just macroing up.
It's like a perfectly even game, man. 27 army supply to 28. Income tab 38 to, no, 40 to 40, excuse me. Third command center going down for Polt. aLive instead is going to go double upgrades. So there's the first, I shouldn't say the first deviation, but this is how they're going to separate themselves in the mid-game.
Yes, that is correct, but I'm just trying to figure out and trying to put the pieces together. We see more Rexes going up right now for Polt and just more reactors, so this is just going to be one big skirmish of a lot of Marines and a couple of tanks. Even though, as you said, Polt did drop the additional command center already, aLive did not. No, aLive, no, still not.
Adding more and more production, so it's looking more and more like aLive wants to make a big 2-base push. Also hasn't taken gases in his natural, so he is just dumping everything that he has into siege tanks, medevacs, and getting as many Marines out as he possibly can.
Polt scouted with one Marine there, tried to see if there was something possible for him, but when he saw the tank on the high ground and he saw a couple of units over here as well, he realized that attacking this natural of aLive is going to be absolutely impossible. And there's also no need for him, because he has the quicker third base, and maybe it was just a little bit of fake aggression. Maybe he just wanted to throw aLive off. Yeah, aLive does have that little Marine here. That Marine went through a lot, man. Wasn't an easy life, but he managed to get there. And he's calling through the information right now. Let's hope he didn't lose his mobile phone, taking all the damage.
Nothing to see here, sir.
There's nothing to see here.
aLive's doing Polt's doing a good job of controlling the map. Just sort of parks down here on this bottom Zelnaga tower, keeping aLive as in the dark as possible. But again, it's still very even. 103 supply to 103 supply. Upgrades are going to favor aLive. Third base timing obviously going to favor Polt, as that third orbital is complete.
Well, yeah, the upgrades are going to favor aLive. Yeah, okay. The armor upgrade is going to be a little bit quicker, but +1 is already ready. And this Marine man is actually going to try to make contact with the main base right now, because I can see something coming in. It's very big.
Report again, sir. Command center sighted. Oh,
yes, you can fire.
No.
Well,
and he dies.
Unfair fight.
And he dies. Well, I've never understood why when a Marine dies, his armor becomes black. It's just like he is like when you're really scared and you lose the color. You know, you get like really pale. But Marines, they lose all color.
aLive's going to try to drop in the main base of Polt right now. Polt had a Viking on patrol, and he also had a missile turret, but he's still sort of out of position. Maybe these Marines will be able to pick up at least one reactor, but I'm afraid that's going to be pretty much it. Maybe a handful of SCVs. But that's, well, 2, 3.
Yeah, good micro by aLive, but also well done here by Polt dealing with all of this.
Only 3. Polt's still active with that big army in the middle of the map. As long as you have this Zelnaga watchtower bed in TVT, this is crucial, because you know you're going to feel super safe. He has that Marine over here as well, and this Marine is going to see, like, I hear fire, Ben, I don't know what, but I hear some fire. I don't know where it's coming from. Nothing inside, but...
Oh, big fight maybe about to unfold here as aLive
have to take this fight.
Gonna stim and run down. Polt just gonna back up to his tank line.
Polt really doesn't have to take this fight.
He's still ahead in supply, but well, now even with this upgrade finishing, it's like a perfectly even game. 1-1 to 1-1.
Funny thing is, aLive has more workers, but Polt has triple orbital, so Polt probably is earning more money right now. And the best thing is that he's also mining from a fresh new base, so he won't mine out these original 2 bases too quick. aLive is trying to make a move over here with quite some Marines. These Marines have 1-1, I believe. Polt is in 1-1 now as well. Tanks sieging up, and Polt takes control of the Zelnaga watchtower again, and that's really huge.
Leaving these tanks a little exposed though is Polt. He's got his bio-army parts behind
Marine
him.
drop on top of these tanks, maybe?
I don't know if that's going to work out very well. Polt stims, runs forward, and immediately chases away the medevac.
Wow, you can see this tank can reach over here, but can't reach over here. It's like perfect.
And really interesting situation here. Polt with a hard contain on aLive.
Nice scan right there.
And he's able to outmine his opponent as well. 175 supply, 180 supply now for Polt. He's really kind of catapulting ahead, perhaps on the back of this 3rd base.
2-2 is on the way for Polt. Actually, before it is on the way for aLive, which I think is remarkable considering aLive had double E base so much quicker than Polt had it. Polt's gonna try it. I mean, aLive trying to take control of the Zelnaga watchtower, but Polt not allowing it. Polt is feeling perfectly fine right now in aLive, despite having a very seizable army. I mean, he's down 23 army supply. That is a big deal. And moreover that Polt is mining from 3 bases, and aLive is going to be the person who eventually is going to have to unsiege first and roll into his opponent because... Ooh, Polt. Hold position. Because Polt is going to be more than just fine with this. Oh, aLive misrallying quite a few Marines.
What is going on?
Or is that on purpose?
Conga line of destruction. That is a limbo party I do not want to be invited to.
We have a little bit of drop action over here on the right top side of the map, but Polt had plenty of units in position to deal with this. Sensor tower going down for Polt now as well. Doesn't want to get dropped.
It looks like Polt's actually losing too many units to keep it up with this contain. I think he's going to have to give it up or risk losing all of these siege
aLive
tanks.
is maybe he's going to try to roll in right now. Maybe he feels this is the moment to roll in. No, he heard the stim and he was afraid. But he did know. Man, what a hero Marine. The hero Marine of hero Marines.
How many bullets does it take to kill an orbital?
Way too much.
Can he really carry that much ammo?
Big stim over here by aLive. He saw that the army of Polt was temporarily on siege, but Polt right on top of things. Being very map aware. aLive is going to try to do the same thing once more, but dropping Marines. Nope, he's
not going to happen. Both these guys are really doing a good job paying attention to every little detail. Polt's maxed out. aLive just at 180 supply. And really needs to break out, Kev. Polt he's done a great job of keeping himself a base ahead, and he's maxed now. He's going to start building up a big bank. And if aLive does not break out soon, he's going to be in trouble, man. He's mining out his main base. He's also mining out his natural. Look how oversaturated this natural expand is.
He has a ton of SCVs, man. He has 65 SCVs, and this is the moment where aLive is moving out. And he's going to siege up, but Polt knows he doesn't have to go any further. This time aLive is going to try to drop it once more. Nope, he's not. He's just trying to lure in a couple of Marines in range of these tanks, but Polt ain't falling for that little
I'm a little surprised that nobody has any Vikings at all. That seems really strange to me. Here we go. Again, aLive's going to push forward. Polt this time is probably going to lose some of these tanks. Marine's still trying to bust out. Polt is controlling this so well, and he's going to stim and run in. I'm not sure if that's the right move. A few tanks are going to go down, but aLive managing to kill a lot of Polt's army there.
So aLive at least broke a small part of this container. I think Polt really could have been a little bit quicker with bringing in those units, because these tanks were really exposed. This does allow aLive to finally take care of this one single super scary Marine, which I really think there were different ways to take care of.
I told you no landing here.
Maybe with a medevac, but...
Now it's just like...
He's like, guys, you still have that container, right? Guys?
Wow, I got through the short straw. Like, okay, Billy, you just go make sure they don't land in orbital. We'll watch your back.
We got this ram. There's no possible way they can ever get you.
And then everybody leaves. And like, who told Billy that we're leaving?
Hey guys, did he get the memo? aLive is going to stim in. It's going to be able to pick up quite a few tanks over here from Polt, but Polt still has an overwhelming amount of Marines. 55 Marines right now for Polt, and 28 only for aLive. 3 trees on the way for either side. aLive did finally secure this 3rd base right now, but as you pointed out not too long ago, man, these bases are running oh so thin. Main completely mined out. Natural, well, 400 left each.
Yeah.
aLive did finally secure the Zelnaga Watchtower.
But critically, during all of that, Polt took a 4th base.
Yeah,
so
and he has a 5th orbital.
he's going to continue to just stay ahead. He's still a base up. He's got all these Marines out. His upgrades, you know, he's working on 3-3 now.
I mean, I would say that Polt played a frustrating style of TVT to play against, but you can't blame him. This is a super important best of 5. If Polt wins this, Polt loves foreign tournaments, as it seems. He attended quite a few of them. And then his offline finals are obviously one of the bigger ones. A lot of money on stake. Yes, who cares if you play frustrating? Who cares if nothing happens 5-6 minutes of the game? If you are outmining your opponent, that's the way you want to play. If that's how you're going to win. Polt's going to be completely fine doing this 5 games on the row and giving us the most unsatisfying best of 5 ever. And I can't blame him, man.
aLive going to go ahead and take a 4th base, realizing that he's got to play some catch-up, rapidly expanding. Polt maxed out.
Ketchup. The ketchup song.
What?
You've never heard of the ketchup song?
Could you sing it for me?
I used to. I forgot how it went. It's a very catchy Spanish song. It's very bad, very bad.
Little hit squad's down here on the bottom left, and it's going to continue to frustrate this base. Revenge of Billy. As all of his brothers show up to kill some SCVs and some Marines. This is a nice bit of harass here from Polt. Not only is he going to kill some workers, but he's going to kill that sensor tower, meaning that further movement back here is going to be harder for aLive to spot. Wow, this is a good bit of harass.
Really is. aLive lost quite a bit over there. Only down to we're down to 41 SCVs right now. Polt still has a lot of units in the middle of the map. aLive still has his little medevacs. Probably going to try to lure in Marines once more. Polt did complete 3-3 right now already, I believe. Yes, and aLive almost completed 3-3. Polt mining from this 4th base, as you mentioned before. Polt's just going to drop more and more orbitals. He's even getting the building armor, I believe. Yes, he is. I think if
Andre's favorite upgrade.
If Andre is still in the building, he's super happy right now.
And something else that Polt has is massive tank upgrades. He's gonna have +3 weapons on his tanks very, very shortly. aLive gonna try to just circumvent this entire force and push up the left side of the map. Polt's frantically trying to get in position to intercept this, but aLive's gained a lot of map control there. Nice little move there. Oh, and he's gonna catch some tanks.
Ooh. He's not bad, but a lot of Marines are going to make his way over to this orbital. aLive is going to try to defend with SCVs. That's never a good sign. All of these SCVs will fall down, so aLive is going to have to win this game with this army that he has. It's a big army, but is it possibly enough?
aLive's last stand. He's going to continue to try and push hard, but there's so many Marines for Polt. The upgrade's also favoring Polt. His 3-3 is done. Well, I guess actually aLive's 3-3 finished up as well. But look at this. Every Marine has been dealt with. aLive's going to try to drop. Nope, he's not even going to attempt to drop. GG comes out, and Polt takes game number 1. Pretty convincingly. He just kind of got ahead and then controlled the game from the very beginning.
This is one of those are you ahead, get ahead further moments, and that's exactly what Polt did. He just had that 2-base contain on aLive. aLive, I really think he could have landed that orbital a little bit quicker. Yes, it was a little bit scary with those tanks there, but all there really was a single Marine. And hey, there are destructible rocks in your natural. Why not break them, put 2 tanks over there, so the moment that Polt wants to do something about that orbital, he has to get at least in range in a couple of siege tanks. So why not? And it's not like he barely had any siege tanks. Both players were up to 140, 150 supply. On that moment, you should be able to secure that base, because as we said several times, all there really was a single Marine. So I don't think that aLive handled that all that great. Of course, it's very hard, and it's a lot easier talking hindsight, but I think he could have done that better.
Nice game, very well played by Polt. He goes into game number 2 with a 1-0 lead. We're going to play a short commercial, folks, and then we'll be back with the second game of Polt versus aLive.